Welcome back to Sailing Northern Breeze. In our 14th episode, we'll not have any drama, but we will have some nice sailing into a new port at Ardfern, listen to some great pub music, and then make our way back to Oban in one of its nearby castles. We'll leave the mooring off the Isle of Gigha, saying goodbye for now to SV Fornautic, seen here with their red ensign, not blue, careful there. As an aside, they have a Hallsberg Rasi, one of the Nordic boats that we're getting used to seeing up here. Like the Baltic 42 DP that we have, the Hallsberg Rasi, the Naiads, the Mallows, they're all built here in the north and well suited to the challenges of this north. We have a reasonably short 32-mile sail today to Ardfern, with some very nice winds predicted and perhaps a little rain. This slide shows our trip from episode 13, starting in Arran down to Ballycastle, back up to Port Ellen, and across to Gigha, plus the next hop north, today up to Ardfern. The winds and weather are in their favor, and it'll be a nice sail. We even get a rainbow to welcome us on the journey up the coast. We get a nice 7 knots with a single reef, and later, the rare occurrence of sailing wing on wing. This is only possible when the wind is nearly directly behind you, and you can set your sails on opposite sides and have enough wind to keep them both full. When the wind shifts even a little, one of those sails will lose power and collapse. Here, however, we were lucky and got to enjoy it. That is even more difficult without pulling out the headsail, but here we could do it with some careful steering. We don't often sail wing on wing, but every once in a while you get to do it. It's kind of cool. Oh, but I gotta pay attention. Keep both of those sails full. One on each side. Yes, yeah.
It's a cloudy, overcast day, but the northern breezes are running as we head into Ardfern. One reef in the mainsail, headsail full open, going about 7 knots. Another good day on the breeze. Here we go, coming into Ardfern, Scotland. It's supposed to have the best chandlery in Scotland. It's supposed to have the less diesel fuel in Scotland. We're just going to see if this place lives up to its reputation. There's the happy driver. We are in Ardfern. Somebody's leaving. As we are going in, and we've come about 32 miles today. It's going to be about 2:30 when we get in. Good timing. And we sailed the whole way. Challenging sail at times, with the wind right behind us. It's been a rainy day, but not too cold.
Ardfern was a great place to fuel up with the best diesel price that we found on Scotland's west coast. It's a note to you locals. The chandlery at Ardfern was also the best that we'd seen. Much stock. We even picked up a CD, remember CDs? A CD of a local band doing traditional music. Fantastic. This tiny town has a full-service marina, and is full with some very nice boats. And we ran into Ian again. Turns out that he was doing some work on one of those very nice boats, making it ready for a trip to warmer climes very soon. They were off to the BVI's for the winter. So after fueling up and shopping a little, we headed off to the local pub for a bite and found some excellent music. A group of musicians wandered in over the next hour, and they had the place jumping. We see a lot of Hallsberg Rosses here. I like the windshield and the partially enclosed cockpit and a center cockpit. The other thing that we see a lot here are Mallows. There's and Moody's. There's a Moody, Rosie. There must be 4 or 5 of these Hallsberg Rosses. And there's 3 Mallows right close together up ahead. Hallsberg Rosses, I believe, are Dutch, but I'll check that out. So our friends Steve and Jill have. Hey Stu. Someone has the same boat name. Grand Soleil 37. It's about 6:30 in the morning, so I'm pretty quiet. Don't want to wake everybody up. There's another Rossi. And then the Mallows, one on each side. Very similar looking, with the big wide blue stripe. I confuse them sometimes. Same with the windshield. Difference is I think these guys are more aft cockpits, which are pros and cons to that, of course. And a third Mallow. Right beside each other. Hey, the breeze. And there's the big breeze. The northern breeze. Peacefully floating a foot off of the dock. That's the way we like to sleep. The northern breeze. The next day, we're off to Oban, a place we visited last year on our way south. Beautiful scenery as we cruise the coast and the islands of the Inner Hebrides. There are many lighthouses along the way. Thankfully, on this bright August day, we didn't need to rely on those. What a glorious day. We had an early start, and with a calm journey, had time to take a snooze.
Here we go, approaching Oban Harbor, Kerrera Marina. Actually, this is the Isle of Kerrera. It's August 25th. We've motored all day. Rah. But at least we haven't gotten rained on yet today, so that's something. Always find the silver lining in the clouds. Oban's quite a big city. Be interesting to go there for a while. We haven't been in a big city in a long time. One of the many castles of Oban. See the highlands of Scotland in the background. Continued views of beautiful Oban. Small little island in the middle of the gap between Kerrera Island and the mainland. Oban is on the mainland of Scotland. From here is where we have come. Up ahead, you can see the old castle ruins. Looking forward to a hike to see that tomorrow. And port side, to the left, that's where we're headed. That is the Kerrera Marina. We'll go out and snag us one of those little mooring balls.
And here's the breeze on a mooring ball. We spent a couple of nights here in Kerrera, across from Oban, and did a little sightseeing and provisioning. First, a walk along the waterfront, and then up the bluff for a lookout view.
Oh. And here we are at the top of Pulpit Hill, Oban.
Castle? From Pulpit Hill, we can see a cruise ship that was far too big to enter the harbor, anchored outside of Kerrera Island. And we can see the northern breeze if you really squint hard. And later, Marie found a nice castle to visit. A short 8-mile walk in the rain along a busy highway. I do love this woman, but sometimes I think she's trying to change that. We'll spare you the hike video and show you the lovely Dunstafnage Castle and grounds. It's been a fortress since Viking times, in part due to the sheltered harbor tucked away behind this rocky point. The sloping shore allowed for the Viking longships to be hauled out for the winter, for storage and maintenance, out of sight from the broader bay. Later in the 1200s, the MacDougall family were the clan in this part of Scotland, and lairds of this castle. The grounds also contained the family chapel, which was also used by the local people. After the Reformation in 1560, Protestant Campbells were masters at Dunstafnage. They played a role in several uprisings, the Civil War and the War of the Jacobites. It was inhabited in various levels by the Campbells and local caretakers until 1888, and passed on to the government for care in 1958. The walls are up to 10 feet thick and 60 feet high. A formidable structure for sure. Frankly, it was worth the walk to see it, but we took an easier return trip on a local bus. And while hiking back in Oban, we saw this road sign. Or is it a life sign? A little philosophical, perhaps? Maybe? A new motto? Something for all of us to think about. Strategically placed now in your eyesight today. To quote Juan Miller, if you don't do it this year, you'll only be 1 year older when you finally do. So consider heading down your own ETIV road if you changed priorities. So that's it for this episode. Sunrise from Kerrera Island over Oban. Tomorrow morning we're off to Tobermory on the Isle of Mull, where our favorite cheese is made. Come back for a tour of the Scribroa farm, where Chris, the matriarch, still oversees the dairy that she started with her husband in 1985, making what we think is the very best cheddar. Thanks this week go out to all of you, and the delightful folks that we met along the way. The team at Ardfern Marina, the band playing the ceilidh at the local pub, and then at Kerrera Marina, the castle and shops of Oban. See you next time.